fantastic ambassador for our sport, a really popular rider on the circuit as well. And we now turn our attentions to the first rider to represent Spain in the Event Rider Masters Series, and it is Albert Hermoso Faris with Miquel Alemany Hospital's Nereo CP. Albert, hugely experienced actually. He's been to 3 European Championships, was actually selected to go to Blair Castle back in 2015, but unfortunately had to withdraw. He completed the World Equestrian Games back in 2014 and rode for Spain at the Rio Olympics last year. So a wealth of experience under his belt, and this is a horse that's already been on the podium at this level so far this year. They were third at Barocca at the start of the season, and actually went clear across country at Po 4-star at the end of 2016 as well. So come forward with plenty of experience under their belts. Albert Hermoso Faris at Nereo CP for Spain.
Well, I think that Barocca result, Nicole, probably shows you the benefit of the FOD, the finished on your dressage that we talk about at Echo Ratings all the time. They didn't get off to what we would normally deem a hugely competitive start, so 58.4. They actually replicated that score at Le Moulin, 58.8 in their last run. However, they finished on it at Barocca, as you say, and that got them into that third place. They finished on 58.4. It wasn't the same at Le Moulin, 58.8, but they did pick up time penalties and they did have a jump down. I would expect time penalties to be an issue at Jardy. No one finished inside the time last year, and it's going to be difficult to do it again this year. So we need to be lower than 58 for Albert today for him to get into that competitive area.
Yeah, we see here Alberto has started, and it's not really the highest score. I think sometimes it looks from here that the horse is not really lose the balance a bit and not really coming forward in a nice. Yeah, here.
You talk us through that for a new viewer, because the old hands at the sport will know exactly what that break means. But talk us through for a new viewer when that happens.
Yeah, when the horse, he was supposed to do an extended trot and he broke, and then what I have learned is exactly what the judge is doing here. You have to, even if it was fantastic before, I will not say this was, but you have to go at least under 5.
Okay.
But if you break the gates, then you have to, the same is in canter and walk as well.
And we have letters all around the ring. And the horses are doing a particular movement from one letter to another, so across and diagonal across, and from different areas of the ring. The movement is meant to go from letter to letter.
Exactly. So it's very important to also. I mean, it's as you said, it starts from one letter to another letter. What happened in there? You have to put the mark in that box.
Okay.
And then you have to forget it, and then look for the next.
The next movement between the next letter to letter, if we're breaking up the movements in that structure, and when we break, as we saw, it meant that part way through that movement, the movement stopped, whatever they were trying to achieve in it.
Exactly. He tried to do an extended trot, and then he was supposed to do another movement. It's the transition, but the horse fell into canter, and we see here that so far the judges here we have some problem. Yeah, I think actually this as well, what we see here, he has some contact issues with the horse, and the horse is not really using his hinds especially much.
Okay.
Also in the trot work, it was not really the same push from each hind legs.
And this is the first horse we've seen ridden in a double bridle with the 2 reins and the 2 bits in the horse's mouth. What effect does that have?
I mean, you have to be a better rider to ride with a double bridle. In my point of view, that you really have, before you put this bridle in the mouth, the horse has to be completely suppled in both sides, because it's harder to get the horse through in the lateral work, half pass and shoulder in with the double bridle. The double bridle though helps, and if you misuse it, to break a bit of the neck. I mean, it's breaking. It's
stopping.
Stopping, exactly. It's you're getting more effectiveness to in the contact. So you have to have very soft and nice hands, and judges don't want to see when the horses is going behind the vertical. and that means that they're getting too short.
That means that their nose is kind of coming closer down, pointed closer to the ground, coming back in on themselves.
Exactly. You want to have them a bit more open, self-carried with push from behind. I mean, everything has to come from the behinds.
Well, Kiki, we are very close to our expected. So 58 in their last 2 tests. We're landing on pretty much the same area again, and while it might not be exactly what Albert wants, it does show the consistency in his last 3 tests. Baraka 58.4, Lemoulin 58.8. We're currently sitting on 58.6, right in between those. Now we do have collectives come in, but it does show consistency.
Yeah, if I would be Alberto, as you said, when you have this statistic of the scores, I'm sure that he could have moving up a bit if he just have a plan and speak with his trainer to at least go step by step and get these penalties.
But they finished on their dressage score in Baraka term, so they'll be looking to climb the leaderboard in the next couple of phases.
You're right, Nicole. If you can do that FOD, and they did that at Baraka in the 1-star actually earlier or late last year, in March, of course, but they did it. They've done it twice, so they are good jumpers, and they are reasonably fast. So if they can stay into that area again, like our last combination, we have the potential to be in the top 20 at an Event Rider Masters. That's nation number 21, I should mention, Nicole.
Nation number 21, just over a nice round number. It's brilliant to have Spain with us here in the Event Rider Masters. One of 14 nations, in fact, represented in leg 4 of the series. We've already seen France, Belgium, Sweden and Spain, and our next rider comes forward actually for Denmark. 58.1, spot on in the 58s, into 5th for Albert.